Hey, welcome back to the shop. I'm Jason, and today we're working on episode 2 of Project Black Pearl. That's my 540 6-speed that I just picked up, my resto mod that I want to make as nice as possible, maybe to redeem myself for destroying an M5 and turning it into a track car. I don't know, maybe something like that. What I'm dealing with today is a fire hazard. I've got a leak from the gas tank. I need to get this car smogged. I can't drive it like this, not in good conscience at least. So previously, somebody had repaired this with some sort of epoxy. I'm gonna do the same thing. I've got this plastic tank repair kit from Quick Steel. We're gonna give this a shot and see what happens. It's reinforced plastic epoxy putty. Now, I recognize that I should just replace the tank. I actually plan to replace the tank. There is one local that is around $300, but I really don't want to spend that yet for a couple of reasons. The primary reason is my M5 over there. It has a perfectly usable tank in it, and that car would benefit maybe from putting a smaller fuel cell in it than the 70-liter tank that's in it. And it might have a blown motor. So blown motor, that tank's coming out, it's coming in here, and something else is gonna happen with that car. I need to wait for my oil analysis to come back on that. For now, let's just get this thing on the road. So today we're gonna cover trying to fix this. We're gonna get our flappy exhaust fixed, and we're gonna make sure that the diff stops rocking in its bushings so that we can try to get down the road and see what else is going on with this. Let's start by getting the instructions out and get going. They start their introduction with congratulations. Man, this is a shitty spot to be. You got a hole in your gas tank and they're like, congratulations, you bought a great kit? Come on. Okay, so the instructions give you a couple of different options. You've got fixing a tank with a small hole or crack, large hole or crack, or very large. This one has a very small hole. And what it says is it says to clean the area vigorously of any oil, grease, dirt, or otherwise. And then at the crack source, you can use this little piece of some sort of plastic pen thing, and you rub it in the crack and it will dissolve and seal it up temporarily. Now, what's interesting is the epoxy doesn't stick to this. So it says not to smear this all over the place. That all being the case, I think I want to make sure I get this as clean as possible first. So I'm going to work on chipping off any loose epoxy or whatever that is on the tank. So I've sanded, I've cleaned, I've sanded, I've cleaned, and I decided I'm just going to follow the instructions as most people would probably wind up doing anyhow. And I'm gonna try their fuel styptic sealer stuff here and use the kit as it was designed. You can see the fuel really starts up at the top and then it runs down from there. So it says to clean it up, take the pen material and just rub it at the crack until it stops, without spreading the material all over the place, because the epoxy doesn't stick to the pin very well, or whatever this material is. Wow, that's actually really cool. It stopped the leak just like that. So this stuff must have some sort of bonding agent or chemical reaction with the fuel. And that's what's happening here. Okay, that is an acceptable outcome. So then it says to clean the area, again, without wiping off all of this new material that we just put on. And we'll mix up our putty and then attach it. So the directions say to take out enough putty, or it says to cut enough putty off of this stick to be a 1/4 inch thick and a 1/2 inch in all directions. So we're just gonna guess at how much that's gonna be. And what it says to do is to mix it in your hands, or knead it in your hands until it turns all white and warm to the touch, and then apply to the vehicle. So I just took half of it. So I'm guessing that the hardening agent is mixed into here. Fiber in. All right, see what happens. While we're waiting for our gas tank to seal up, we're gonna take a look at our diff. The diff was covered in oil everywhere here. You can still see some of my cleaner here. And I've brake cleaned the heck out of it, and I can already see some trace coming out of the side shaft seals, which is not a difficult repair. So we will do those at a later date. But for now, the rear diff is making an extraordinary amount of noise when you get in and out of the clutch. I did take the car around the block, basically after I got it off the tow truck. So let's take a look here. Jeez, yeah, it's moving a lot from the front. That bushing, all these lights. Let's use a nice small light. That bushing doesn't look too terrible. It does have a tear in it. Let's reposition the camera so you can see what I see. I'll try to get out of the way here so you can see it. Look at all that movement. One thing that is known on these cars is that this front bolt area here, or the front bolt, either comes loose, breaks, or this aluminum mount on the subframe breaks off from that kind of movement. I'm gonna take a gander at this bolt being loose and just not properly torqued. Let's see if we can tighten that up. That looks like 21s. Oh yeah, look at that. Spinning freely. We got a gear wrench on this side. Let's see what we can do to tighten that guy up. We're just gonna go really tight for now. My future plans are to completely drop the subframe out of this car and rebuild everything, at which point we'll change the bolt, we'll change the bushings and all of that. Let's see if we just got a free fix out of it. Hey! Now the whole car is shaking. That's unnerving, but it's okay. It's okay. The bolt doesn't move anymore. Sweet. That's the kind of repair I like to see. Let's move on to the exhaust. We'll start with this mount here. That's completely loose. It's missing a nut, and the other nut, ow, hit my head. That's finger tight right there, up at the top. Let's see, right there, missing and loose. So let's get a nut on this one and tighten that one, and we'll move to the muffler section that is really loose. Well, right away, as soon as you start shaking the exhaust, you can see there's a stud up there with nothing attached to it. When you come around this side, there's a bracket with no stud. I think we have found our problem. I don't know what this is all about. I'm guessing this muffler was for a different vehicle. This is a Dynan muffler, and they cut a bracket off for some reason and welded on this one. I don't know. I'm gonna cut this off and we'll reattach that up there. All right. Haha! Exhaust is fully stable. Another I had a bolt repair. Sweet. Oh yeah, I can totally see right at the top there where the old mount was cut off. This must have been for a different vehicle or something. There's this damage here in the fender liner. I don't know if something happened there or what. I'm gonna choose not to worry about it. This looks like a nice piece of stainless that I can throw into my stainless pile though.
No! He left me! Come back! I forgot about the cameraman! You didn't forget about me!
Want a ride?
Yeah!
this is a smile right here. This is, as my wife would call it, happy face. Getting back into another E39 6-speed. Oh, it's no M5, but oh boy, is it fun. I can't wait to get this thing rocking down the road for real. The trailing arm bushings or the thrust arm bushings are so badly torn that anything above 30 or 40 miles an hour, when you hit the brakes, the steering wheel shakes pretty violently. So I'm just driving in the neighborhood for now, but once those bushings get here, I can get it out onto the freeway and get some good freeway cruising on it to get all my smog monitors to set. Until then, stay tuned for more 540 Resto Mod content. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.
Well, it's been a few days since I made the repair. It's holding up just dandy. I'm pretty pleased with this kit. So, since you've made it to the end, you get to be here for the inaugural crossing off, and we can talk about how much money this car costs. So, let's see. Down here we have fuel tank leak. I didn't write leak. Let me write that here. Leak. I'm going to cross that off for now. Yes, I do want to put a fuel tank in it, but that's going to have to come at a later date. Now, as far as costs, this repair costs $12.33, including my local tax, which puts me at a total of $4,042.33 to get this thing purchased, on the road, and running down. Now, obviously, I have to still fix the thrust control arm bushings, but that will be added up later in that video. Stick around for that. That's coming up next. Thanks for watching.